Greetings people! Monster Zero back at it solo again! This time though, I won't be going on about small details of the game, but more so on the serious stuff that's been going around recently. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I did mention it a bit in the 4th main episode, but before this one, plus some minor crash out. But for those that have zero clue what I'm talking about, Kaiju Revolution's controversy has re-emerged months later, and I personally want to address it to you myself. And by the end of this, you may look at this entire drama in a completely different aspect. That is, if this video gets acknowledged at all. I will be mainly speaking of the document and what others have said regarding it. Don't worry, I'll attempt to keep this somewhat short and not make this video like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. Now then, for the document, let's start with what it consists of the most, the people. Those being Kaiser, Mayura, Alistair, Deathstorm, Ren, Obi, Display, and Exilian, which is basically 6 to 8 pages of the document already since these guys have their own page or mentioned in one. So the document revolves mainly around these people. Some, if not most of them, are very much controversial themselves. Kaiser mistreating devs and overall being a douche, a lot more stuff that I won't list because we'd be here for a while. Alistair being an S-tier weirdo, Ren exposed for stuff that I can't explain, you get the idea. I would explain all the allegations, but again, I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short and focusing on the more important aspects. So what do I have to say with this portion of the document? Well, they aren't wrong about these people in general. They have done some rather controversial stuff. But there are two people that are much more important to this whole drama, being Kaiser and Obi, who we will speak of more in a minute, and plus a huge flaw in the document itself. Anyways, on to the next thing, the staff purge. Taking words from a former sound effects developer for the game, he said that the moderation team was real messy back then. So most of these people probably weren't doing their job, or were doing something else that we probably wouldn't want to know. And besides, this is presumably after Obi got kicked from the team due to how much bad rep he was giving the company. Which, by the way, yes, he did not leave, he was kicked. Though I know what some of you are gonna mention. Yes, I'm literally about to explain that. The document talks about Obi being rehired, which yes, that was the case, but not in the way everyone thinks he was rehired. Kaiser was still the lead developer at this time, and as told by current higher-ups of Solaria, they have stated that he has been hiring people behind ownership's back without the knowledge of his boss. Thus Obi was hired back, and other people that Solaria never asked for were hired as well. And the ownership never knew about any of this until the very last minute. Luckily, we don't gotta worry about none of that anymore, since Kaiser has long since been fired since March, so Obi has returned to his back seat in the main server. So don't worry, he isn't a part of the development team. Not anymore, at least. Now then, I believe that's at least most of the more looked upon aspects of the document itself. But now I want to address the big flaw, when it dates back. You see, practically all the stuff I told you about earlier took place in at least late 24 or early 25. Everyone except Obi is gone. Kaiser was fired in March, as I've said, and replaced with someone else that the dev team actually look up to now. Which, by the way, if you're a long-time Solaria member like I am, notice how they don't once mention the present day? Nothing with the modern moderation team, dev team, and even Art himself, who is Kaiser's replacement. And Art is basically a guardian angel amongst the dev team, having a substantial better reputation than Kaiser ever had. Oh yeah, speaking of Kaiser, they didn't really like him that much, with the unreasonable deadlines and calling them names and such. Okay, I'm just gonna get to the point, getting off topic. I've inspected the document myself, looking on what it's told and comparing onto the server back to back. My conclusion is, well, over 90% of this whole document is outdated information. No, like, really, I am being serious. Most of what the document is talking about is literally the same stuff that was posted about over half a year ago. The only bit in this entire document that's even relatively recent is Concord's childish acts. Which, I would not lie, they aren't really wrong in that department. If this all took place during 24, I can understand a pardon. But this is just... it has no meaning to it anymore. It's just one big molded nothing burger. Once again saying this, the information told on the document isn't even new. It's the same stuff it was exposed for so long ago that is now outdated and has no linking to this current day whatsoever. Like, Jesus, is this even an exposure anymore? Though, let's get real, most of you could give much of a damn about what I just told you. You're looking at this video for a different reason, yes? Most, if not all of you are here to see what I have to say about the infamous conspiracy of Revolution being the one behind the takedowns. And honestly, I would say no to that theory, for a few key reasons actually. First reason, many people forget that Solaria is a genuine company, not some Roblox group like maybe PG, I'm not sure about that, or Aragami. And if they were indeed the cause of the takedowns, don't you think they would have been sued by both Roblox and Toho a long time ago? As false DMCA is basically illegal. Second reason, if you're in Solaria's server, you would see that Ancient dropped an announcement regarding the situation, and says from the start, there wasn't ever a license. However, he shows proof that someone in the Toho company is indeed interested in Ancient and his team to make a legitimate Godzilla game within their knowledge. You can see multiple emails he links to in his said announcement, about 4 in total, which is further proof that Toho was the one responsible, not some third party. Yes, I know, you guys are gonna mention that Obi himself told that he did get a license back in 24. But given what Ancient said and how small Revolution is, I mean, come on, the game isn't even out, they wouldn't even be able to afford a license at all. To put it short and simple, Obi just jumped his gun. No other way to put it. Okay, anyway, third reason, the GXK Obi. I mean, seriously, did we all just forget that existed? I mean, I wouldn't blame you, boy, but was that not also conveniently released mere weeks after the takedowns to promote GXK, while Revolution was only announced 2 months after the purge? And I already know what you're gonna say, and what your counter argument will be, but Toho didn't post about the agreement on their account, therefore it's false. Must I remind the Obi used to promote GXK wasn't posted about either? Yet I'm pretty sure Toho still went along with it. Strange, huh? Anyways, fourth reason is the original poster of the document KK is literally apologized about the document after it was shown to the public. He confirms the emails from Ancient were real and made up his mind that Revolution is indeed not the cause of the takedowns. Also may or may not have been the same guy who encouraged an entire fanbase to flame a 13-year-old over a year ago. That's a fun fact. Fifth and final reason. This one image with Verret, Blade, and some random Kaiju developer literally confirming that the purge was Toho's doing, not someone disguised as them. It's pretty safe to say that these confirmations were forgotten, so why not bring them back and give them some meaning again? These are clearly not DMs, as Verret and the dev are both responding to one person, whereas Blade is outright announcing this to his entire community. Now, I believe I know exactly what you are going to reference in the comment section, and one that has convinced a small number of YouTubers alike. And yes, I was too conflicted of the screenshot. The screenshot of Ancient quote confirming that he took down the Kaiju games. So all of what I just said just gets thrown out the window and therefore Revolution is guilty. Case closed, right? Well, not exactly. Yes, I know, that sounds crazy and sounds like I'm sure of defending Revolution in any way possible at this point, but hear me out before you start flaming me in the comments, even though you probably will end up doing so anyway. So why don't I think this screenshot proves everyone's point? Well, it's the screenshot itself if the whole thing is shown, as everyone usually has been shown the cropped version of it. I had a little talk with a current developer known as Kemalisty, or however you pronounce it. Simply just call him Kema. He's a cool guy to speak to. He looked into the document himself and explained to me 2 parts involving Kaiser being, quote, scammed, and of course the now infamous screenshot with Ancient. I won't explain it in my own words myself since it's a bit hard to explain it then. So Em-Ber will show the screenshots of his explanations on screen. Pause to read them. You can read the paragraph regarding Kaiser being quote-unquote scammed if you want, but the real goldmine here is that he says the screenshot everyone uses as proof that KU took down the other games is Photoshop. If you look back at his explanations and compare that to the document screenshot together, which should be shown on screen, you would see why he thinks that. This is a quote from Kema himself from a comment he wrote. You can see that it was taken from Kaiser's mobile phone, but the problem is looking at other screenshots from Kaiser's mobile phone, the background theme doesn't match. top bar where it says Ancient suddenly has Kaiser's PC Discord theme. And for some reason, the mobile icons don't appear on the top bar even though we can see them appear on the other images of Kaiser's phone. Okay, I think I finally explained just about everything that's mainly important. Now to sum up all this drama in a nutshell. It's essentially using outdated information and a Photoshop image to prove their point, and context is thrown out of the window for a lot of these points, though not many people seem to realize that. On the surface, these points link well, however, try linking it with the stuff KR has responded to, plus what I've talked about earlier before, you'll start to see this big argument deteriorate. To put it short, this whole drama is just stupid. And all of this is happening because KK just wanted to bring Revolution's reputation to the dumps. And it sort of worked. Even after he apologized publicly, everyone is still using the document as evidence that Revolution is guilty even now. Before I end this video, here are some few extra bits of information. Toho actually took down a fan-made Godzilla film as they were profiting off of it. Look at the Kaiju games and what do you know, the patterns are similar, specifically KU. They were really the only ones, or one of the few big ones, abusing Toho's IP via game passes like a drunk stepdad. Also, this drama has led to a few YouTubers that come up with their very own conspiracies, whilst purposefully leading people to flame Revolution in the end. One YouTuber specifically said by a few that I've spoken to that he's deleted comments of those who tried to tell the other side of the story like I did. There have also been some ex-developers jumping in on this drama for that sweet taste of revenge for how they were treated like back when old management was a thing. Likely not knowing that Solaria is completely different from Obsidian Games and having completely new management. Another thing is the huge contrast between the ex-devs compared to the current devs. Unlike the ex-devs, the current ones genuinely like their job and being treated rather well, as there have been no complaints of unfair treatment. So these ex-devs are essentially just beefing with a literal brick wall. Actually, that describes this drama perfectly. Everyone just JoJo style punching a goddamn wall. Oh yeah, one last thing. People even think that apparently cancelling this game, that again, isn't even out by the way, will result in KU coming back. I'm sorry, how does that work? This is no FNAF 3 the last time I checked. That killing a game somehow restores the moral balance. Even if they did manage, I'm pretty sure nothing would change. So really this drama is an outdated, misinformed and no context mess which the instigator of said drama publicly apologized for and still got so many misled on the situation. Alright, I'm gonna stop yapping about extra details. Now that we're at the end, what was the point of me telling all of this to you? Well, one, to ease the fire at least a little bit, but also to explain Revolution's side of the story here. People bring up a lot of evidence to prove them guilty, but they almost never think to research the other side of the situation, which is the big problem here. Context is practically non-existent in this drama. Even if Revolution has a counter-argument and genuine proof, some or a lot of people just push it aside, deny the argument, and continue to blame them, all because they want KU back. Many people have made videos trying to put Revolution in a negative spotlight by practically spouting out the same thing each passing video. But I thought I'd be the first to explain the opposite side of said spotlight. Maybe get a lot of you to understand how meaningless this situation really is. Whether or not this is taken into consideration is up to you. Have I convinced you or not? If yes, that's great. You see the pointlessness in all this and know most of everyone's evidence has one big counter-argument and one big flaw. If not, then well, your mind's been made up. You can't be convinced otherwise and you want KR gone still. I'm not stopping you, not like I can, but I'm not encouraging you either. If you disagree with what I said, that's fine. Just don't death threat me in the comments at least, for talking about this drama in a different POV. Anyway, that about wraps up this entire video. Thanks for sticking around if you did so, because my god, I am not gonna record myself speaking for this long again. Also, this topic took me days to research. Though, doesn't matter. Keep your canes and tails on the ice, for I will come back at some point to discuss important yet small details or drama such as this. Good day to you, Ghidorah out.